Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cowabunga Ranger Talk. This is a podcast where we talk about Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers type stuff. I'm your host, Mascara, and with me is DTV83, David.
Hey everybody.
Yeah, and today we're doing a pretty topical one. We're going to be covering Cosmic Fury.
Yes, we're gonna be. Yes, we
So,
are.
you know, there's a lot to cover here because there's a lot of moving pieces here. Just off the top of the dome before, because I know you taking some notes and we're gonna go through that, but I think the only thing you can kind of compare it to would be the Alien Rangers miniseries, because it was the only,
Yeah.
it was 8, 9 episodes or something like that, and this is 10 tight episodes. So
Yeah, all squeezed in together, and
yeah.
yeah.
So
I
why
mean,
don't you start? You know?
okay, so let's just start from the beginning. That opening scene where you see all the Power Rangers fighting, and you see Lord Zed and the I just lost the names of them. The
The Morphin Masters.
There we go, Morphin Master. Sorry, it's kind of late over here. My mind's kind of blanking out. Uh, what did you think of that opening scene? Because I could tell you my whole opinion on the whole show just from this first episode, but I'm not going to do that. This opening scene where you see everybody's fighting, and you see Billy and Lord Zed. The first time Lord Zed sees Billy, he basically has a big grudge against Billy in the very first episode. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, what's it? What?
Well, I think what they did here, like just talking about the scene specifically, I think they did a really good job with the drone filming because it's obviously a drone that
Oh, it has to be. Yeah.
there's no other way to do it. I think they did really good as far as their ADR, their matching, because um, Simon Bennett, I believe, is the director, the producer of the show, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. He was talking about how okay, this is team A that's filming, this is team B that's filming, and as a filmmaker, I can tell you like matching film is a real pain, and he also matched it with drone footage. That's so everything looks well. Starts really beautiful. I think that they're really good as far as like an impact shot of something to grab your attention. Hey, look, we're at a war scene. Everything's happening right now. Right now, sort of. Let's jump into it. Let's jump into it. So I think they
Yeah.
did.
So overall, as an editor of my own videos, I know how hard it is to slice the videos together to make it look seamless as well. So I understand the concept of having a drone, camera A, camera B doing that. Yeah, that could be a lot of work. But overall, it looked beautiful. It looked amazing. But the main plot of the story and that beginning part is capturing the Morphin Masters in a tube. I mean, uh, I think the first few episodes were not too bad. I think the main show itself wasn't too bad. Um,
Yeah.
even when even when it kept showing new people,
Well, uh, I think that's a good sort of pause right there. That's a good point you make right there. So I can kind of elaborate a little bit. This is just my opinion. Okay. As far as pacing goes and everything, I think the first 5 episodes they're without reproach. Like they're exactly what they're supposed to be. The first 5 episodes hit all of their points. When you look at the second half of it, that's when you start taking in water. That's when you start repeating the same scenes multiple times. That's when you start looking at mistakes. That's when you start looking at the cracks in the armor. You start looking at, okay, this is supposed to be Billy's line. Why is Mick saying it? Or okay, Mick is the floater ranger, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Why did he take it really cracks the armor after 5 episodes. The first 5 episodes are tight, but the second 5 episodes, you do take on some water, and it's hard to even say that because the show overall is fun.
Oh yeah,
As
that show is
you look at
fun.
it as a whole, it's fun, but there's a big, I get not even disconnect, but like I said, maybe it's the filming process because it was okay. Team A is going to do the first 5 episodes. Team B is doing the second 5 episodes, but we're filming everything at the same time because we only have the actors for so long. And oh no, they have to do another movie, or they have to do another show, or they have to get to a convention. So I know everything here. It's hard to judge it too, honestly, because so many things were against them as far as time. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
This season wasn't supposed to. This season wasn't supposed to exist. To be honest, this was supposed to be a one-shot season. And to end the Nickelodeon era, and then they said no, we're going to break it into half Netflix, half Nickelodeon, and then oh no, we're not done yet. We have to do it again, and now we're going to do a third season, and you know what I mean. So this was as a whole, as the whole Dino Fury, Cosmic Fury thing. It's it's something to really appreciate, and like I said, it's hard to nitpick also because. Especially this season. This season, you can tell this was really not supposed to happen. This is like 3 episodes to wrap up the final storylines, you know?
And if you really, I had a fun time watching it, but I had a hard time not seeing the similarities between. Basically, they took basic like storylines from MMRP and just threw them in there. And even through space even. And it's just funny, like taking a ranger and making him a bad guy. Again, you're going way back into the past also.
That's a big thing to actually talk about too. That's
and some of this
stuff. They hit it with 5 episodes. You didn't have to make him the bad guy for like 8.5 episodes.
I know. And I understand, don't destroy the dinosaur statue, it's gonna take away his powers. That's fine. I like what they did with the suit, made his new suit, an evil suit for him. That was beautiful. I loved it. But again, it's the same storyline as you go with any other, trying to get a guy bad, make him bad for so many episodes, find a way to destroy the badness, and then he's good again. It's like, I've seen this several hundred times in Power Rangers. We didn't need this. We didn't need this storyline in here. To me, we didn't need. We could have had something a little different. We could have had Lord Zed more action. I would have loved to see Lord Zed do more fighting than what he did. Because Lord Zed was not the main character, but he was the main character in the show, in my opinion.
What did you think of Lord Zed, by the way, in general?
Okay, so in general, I think Lord Zed had the personality. The voice was very close, not perfect, very not perfect, but very close. And he was more like a mentor in this show, in my opinion, telling, the Blue Ranger that, it's not always about teamwork. It's not about this. He's more like a mentoring, how he become more evil and all this. And it kind of backfires him at the end, I like what they did with Lord Zed, make him like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's Super Shredder. Super Lord Zed, and I forget what they actually call Master Lord Zed, I think it was. But yeah, I was like, I like that idea. I like the new helmet look. That was cool. The new armor. But again, they didn't have time to do anything with it. It was just there and gone. And I was like, what the hell, man? You could have had a whole 2-3 episodes with Master Lord Zed battling the Rangers and the Megazord or something cool, and it never happened. It never happened.
Yeah, well, my take on Lord Zed in this season, from a story perspective, because as a story writer, as a series writer, he's a fucking. I shouldn't curse. He's a freaking idiot, man. Like, he doesn't realize he's being set up from the jump. These squid people get him out of the crystal. They give him absolutely everything, and then he's surprised at the end when they flip on him. You're a pretty big, This is Lord Zed. He should have this. You know what I mean? This is way too obvious a setup. The henchmen of the squid people look like they have your helmet. Like, you don't notice that.
Right. The girl has the T-shirt with the helmet on it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you really don't smell the setup here, bro. They give you.
Well, again, they made him think it was his plan, and it's kind of funny, I'm gonna take the Morphin Masters and put him inside me. Oh, you're gonna do what? Who says you gotta? They made him make it look like it's his plan, but in reality, it was their plan to begin with. And it was like, okay.
I like the idea of the squids. I just like, this seems like 2 different ideas smashed together. You know what I mean?
It really was. Yeah.
We're gonna have this squid conglomerate that owns all of these weapons and all of these things, which is a very cool idea. in its own, and then we're gonna have Lord Zed come out, and then you know what? We're gonna smack them together.
Right, and even the Squid storyline, you know, the kid side, where she falls in love and has all the TikTok type stuff, all the social media stuff. It was just like I understand it's the newer day age and stuff, but it was kind of like why we didn't need the whole social media thing. I know the main process was it was a company, the Squid Company. You know, she was promoting her own stuff and all that again, and it's like, well, that's cool, but we're not going to get a continuation of this storyline. So it's kind of a, to me as a person that's watching as a normal viewer, it's like it could have a whole lot more in depth with it instead of making it into this is a news broadcast. We're going to broadcast this and that and this and that. I don't know. It just felt kind of offset a little bit to me.
Yeah. Well, okay. Forgetting Lord Zed of 30 years. Let's just talk about Lord Zed for a second of the past 2 years. Okay. Let's just talk about the Dino Fury, Cosmic Fury Zed. In the season before, they introduced him pulled out of time by some guy, right? Like some
wizard.
Yeah, some monster that looks like he belongs on the Dino Charge bad guys, right? He looks like one of those. He's pulled out of time. Yeah. Lord Zed doesn't want to deal with anybody. He doesn't want to deal with Void Knight. He doesn't want to deal with anybody. He wants to take over. He wants to, get the compliance collar off of his neck, and he wants to run his own show. Exactly, why in the world do you make such a hard left and just accept everything from a story perspective for Cosmic Fury? He just literally accepts everything that's happening.
Yeah, he does. He
doesn't really complain or anything. Like, he's getting everything he wants, but Lord Zed isn't this stupid, bro. I mean, even as I guess the word castrated, if you want to call it, for what they did to him.
That's pretty much what happened.
30 years ago, he wasn't even this dumb. 30 years ago, like when he got with Rita, he was a lot more competent. They destroyed the original power plant. Here, he's a freaking idiot. He's literally a puppet.
He is a puppet in this, yes.
So you, like I said, this seems like two completely different ideas.
It really is.
I don't even mind the idea because I think it's a solid idea. But if you would have put any other character doing the Lord Zed role, it would have been fine. Perfect example.
Talks, maybe even Diva Talks or something weird like that. Somebody you haven't seen in years.
You know what? Since they opened the door to the Morphin Masters and they were the ones behind Super Mega Force and everything, they could have used the Vrock. Vrock had like 6 different body forms. Okay, this is just the new form of Vrock, or his brother with the white clothes. I forget what the Rax or who I'm talking about. The one of Super Mega Force, the one, but his brother. Yeah. Okay. He's a stooge. He's a dummy. So it makes sense for his character. Okay, he gets pulled out of time, whatever. That's another thing I kind of want to touch on too. In the show, I don't know if this is in your notes or not, but during the show, there's hints at other Rangers are fighting, other Rangers are doing things, right?
Yes.
A lot. Why? And this has no effort whatsoever. This is just good editing, what they could have done. This is my idea. You could have looked at Super Mega Force and all of that footage, and you could have found a different angle to put, okay, they're fighting, from a different, other Rangers are fighting from somewhere else. You already had the 600 Rangers fighting an army of bad guys. You could have just said that, the leftovers of whatever are fighting bad guys. You can't tease something that big and not pay it off at all with 5 ugly CGI Megazords at the end, right? Because you have to roll credits. You know what I
mean? So let's break that down even more then. Because of the social media spot in this,
they filmed all this. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. This is already filmed. You could have just spliced some of that in. There's got to be footage of Tommy.
And you're right. You're right, because all they had to do was take the little news clip thing of the squids and be like, here in Angel Grove, here in SPD World or wherever they are, and have little like pop-ups, like you said, a pre-made video of them fighting. Who knows? Take the Z putties out and put the Lord Zed people in there. I mean, because CGI you can do anything with real fast, and that type of CGI would be a little small little corners of the screen would be
Yeah.
so easy to do. You're absolutely right. They should have done that of some sort. In Australia, in Tokyo, and this and that. Because they went to Australia and they went to Tokyo, and all you see is them doing is coming back. Transporting back. It's like, okay, so you took care of that. Oh, people from Angel Grove got saved. Oh, people from who knows got saved. He's like, okay. Yeah, they should have done something. They had so much opportunity just with the Squid Company in
Well,
the
here's just
show.
editing. You're not filming anything. I get it, because that's always everybody's big defense or big attack on Power Rangers. Oh, we don't have the budget. We don't have the budget. Fine, you've already filmed this stuff,
Right, and you guys
or you
know
at least bought the footage. You licensed the footage from Tokusatsu. You already have this. It's like using a chair in your house instead of buying another chair. You already have that chair in your house.
That's right.
You don't have to buy another chair. Just turn the chair.
No, they could have done a lot with this show that they just kind of fell flat on, and it's just it's sad because
they did
it was a good show. I loved it. I really did love this show. I mean, it made me.
Yeah, it's hard to even talk about this show because it's like we know it's so many things were working against it to even happen.
And I will say this. I'm not happy with the ending. I'm just not. I'm not happy with that ending. It is not.
I think
not a good ending.
I think it goes to that 5 episodes. The first 5 were tight. The second 5, you're just repeating scenes.
Well, what really makes me mad is when they have the tube of Lord Zed in there cracking. You saw it, and they go, "Well, one of the ways we could get rid of it is putting it through the grid and destroying it in the grid." And they're like, "Oh, well, maybe that will destroy the grid and take away your powers." And I'm thinking to myself, perfect, do it. That's how you would end the season. That would be perfect. End the show that way. No more Power Rangers, in a good way. You destroy him, you destroy Lord Zed, you destroy the grid. Perfect. That would have been perfect for me. I would have been happy with that. I don't know how many other people would have been happy with it, but that would have made sense to end the 30 years of Power Rangers and never showing it again until the reboot.
Yeah.
But a reboot's a different, going to be a whole different story as far as I know, of some sort. So that's how I would like to see it end, but it didn't happen that way.
I think what they could have done, and it would have been cheap too, they could have just gotten a couple of different random putties from different seasons, and then they can use that footage and just say Lord Zed is controlling the putties of Dino Thunder, or he's controlling the putties, the minions, the goons from Lost Galaxy. That way it makes storyline sense that Lord Zed sent out the putties are fighting, or the what do you call it? The Lord Zed ones. It would have been easy. Like, you could tell looking at this, they put a lot of money into the number one, the cameras. Their cameras are top notch. This is probably the best looking, as far as the look. I think this is the best looking Power Rangers that has ever looked, honestly.
Definitely. I have to say that even the monsters look amazing.
But then we get to that Megazord fight. Ooh.
Now that Megazord, the funny thing about the Megazord, it's not original. It's actually from Q Ranger. The Megazord is from Q Ranger, and I'm like, I didn't know it at the time.
I was talking about the 5 Megazords fight. I know you're talking about
fights. Yeah. That thing was so cheese. That was just. I didn't like it when it was in Once and Always. I didn't like it now, and that Megazord thing is just out of control. I hope they don't do that type of CGI for the new one. If they actually make a reboot, I hope they don't do that CGI. That ruined that Megazord scene in this and in Once and Always was just like, this is so low grade CGI.
Yeah. I think one of the things that it is, I will critique them on it, is the fact that you have a mentor that keeps changing. The floater mentor. Your mentor is Billy, right? Billy comes in, and then Billy's gone after like 4 episodes, and then they bring in Mick to do basically Billy's role, and then they pull out Mick, and then they put the Zenith Ranger, what's this guy's name? You know what I'm talking about? The Champagne. Yeah, they bring him, so he's the new mentor, and then they pull him out, and then as a Hail Mary, they bring in Heckle. And no, Heckle's got his idea to be the floating ranger. And all during this, they keep changing the lineup. It's like, okay, so who is in the team then? You know what I mean? The team lineup changes, the mentor thing changes. And then when they run out of people to bring in because they only brought in 4 people, they give most of the lines to the robot dinosaur. I forgot what her name is, Scion or Cylon.
Scion, I think it's Scion.
Yeah. They were like, you know what the hell?
And
they even cut one of the chairs so they could stick the tail in. I was like, all right, bro.
Now let's go to there. Let's take the Scion. And if we're saying it wrong, please leave a comment and let us know what the real name is. Fern. I had to say that morph, the very first morph of Fern, was an awesome way of doing it. Her being Scion and Scion getting hurt, and they get a little shock through the morpher, and the morpher changes her into the Orange Ranger.
I would have done it a lot earlier too. They
deep
in like episode 5, episode 6 when they finally released the Orange Ranger. Like, you can't stretch this out,
And they didn't do much with her, and that's kind of a sad point because overall most of the time she was just in a Zord. She didn't really fight. She fought a few times, I think maybe once or twice, and that was it. And it was very short-lived.
Yeah.
And I know. Sorry, I know originally this show was supposed to be 20 episodes long originally, and then they cut it down to 10. So, I mean, they could have had a lot more to it. But I don't know if they cut it down to 10 because Netflix says, "Oh, we can't run it this long," or the budget was too short, or whatever.
Maybe the actors,
yeah. But Fern and Melee's what's her name?
The Green Ranger.
No, the Green. Yeah, the Green Ranger. Sorry, the Green Ranger. I can't remember her name off the hand.
Yeah.
But they're dating. I remember seeing the episode before that where she was like just overprotective of her. You can't do this, you can't do that. And then when she becomes the Orange Ranger, all of a sudden she has like a change of heart, and it's like,
okay. Well, now that you bring that up, I had I was bothered by it. Okay, because during the Dino Fury's first 2 seasons, this character is already introduced. She knows that her girlfriend, halfway into the second season, she knows that her girlfriend's a Power Ranger. So she's going to have to fight, or at least a little bit of self-defense. And then in the season, in the Cosmic Fury, she completely forgets how to fight. Everything, this is an athletic runner. She's a gymnast, right? Like she's a big athlete in the show. That's why they meet and all of this stuff. And like she just becomes so inept, like, oh, I can't do anything. And all of a sudden she touches Zion's arm, and now she knows how to do these nunchucks. And like, you can't just, you had something already. You know what I mean? You couldn't, oh, hey, I forgot how to fight. And you know what I mean? I hated that. I was like, you're wasting time, dude. You're wasting time. This chick should already know some things.
Well, there you go. See, there's a good point there. She's known who the Power Rangers were for the longest time. She could have been the bad Power Ranger. She could have went to Lord Zed, and Lord Zed could have said, we're going to change you into this Orange Ranger and be the bad guy, not the other way around. They could have done that even. That would have made even more sense.
That would have been more fun, honestly. Like, if story-wise, like, oh, my girlfriend's the sleeper cell, and she was the traitor one. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah. And she's the one that causes them to, she flips on them and goes with Lord Zed, and they have to break the evil spell, and then she becomes the Orange Ranger. There's your story arc right there.
Yeah, again, but it still falls back into that old-fashioned routine. But it would have made more sense that way than going, oh, we're going to take a Power Ranger that already exists and make him evil. No, let's take that character that's been in the show forever and a day and make her evil. That would have been perfect. I would have loved that.
I will say the Blue Ranger, he did a good job in this season, but I think he did this the being the bad guy in the season before. So you're just repeating storylines. Right?
They did. That's exactly what he did, turn evil in the season before. So a lot of this show, if you really break it down, is just other Power Rangers shows storyline crammed together. I mean, it was really bad when they trapped Lord Zed into the tube and really bring up the whole Zordon era with space where, well, they destroyed the tube of Zordon, everybody became good. and now we're gonna do it, and everybody's gonna become anybody that's good is gonna die, and it's all gonna be bad guys. It's like you just did the same storyline. You actually mentioned it. It's like you literally just said what happened in the past, and you're gonna do the same thing in this show. It's like seriously, come on, you guys had. I'm sure you guys could have done something better.
You want to know something that's super nerdy, but if you think about it, it kind of makes you question things. Okay.
It made me question a lot of things.
Well, this particular point in the original season, season one, towards the end of season one, Tommy's losing his powers, so Zordon gives his energy to recharge his powers, right? But eventually that wears out and he becomes a White Ranger. Yeah, you're with me so far?
I am definitely with you so far.
Okay. So, in theory, eventually Zordon's powers should fade. So, all of the bad guys could technically come back because the Z-Wave, even if it is, it is his essence, and because it's not, because he's in a time warp and whatever, but even all of his energy, eventually all the bad guys can come back if it's not a permanent, fixture, especially going across space and time, and now all of a sudden, Billy, because we got Billy back, we're gonna bring in the Zordon storyline. And they do it again. They did it in Once and Always. That's like the B plot, right? Like they're gonna bring in Zordon because the plot one is Charlie Kirsch's character, being Trini's daughter in Once and Always, but the second plot is to try to bring back Zordon. So
instead you bring back Roborita. And
that was bad at the end when they couldn't even bring the Roborita. They had like some mask or some. It seemed like one of those Mickey Mouse convention people that takes pictures with you. Like this gigantic Rita head with a mud mask that doesn't look. I
actually got to see a person put that costume on, and it was the main costume is just the Rita costume with the little neck thing, and yes, it's like a little helmet that she puts on, but it's like this big around. I mean, it's huge. It's like this, and it's like her head's like tiny. It's like. Mascot. It looks like a mascot. That's what it is. A mascot. Yeah.
A park mascot. That's what I saw when I saw Rita there at the end. I was like, oh, why is Rita wearing a mascot? Okay, tell me that.
Yeah, but
I think there's a lot good here too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of.
Let's talk about that secret Zordon scene. The little scene where they're in another dimension. The two. After
they're basically in purgatory.
Yeah. So and you see the main guy with the blue eyes, and the other guy's asking him. Yeah, and he really, oh, I'm not him, I'm somebody else. Blah 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 blah. And it was funny because when I first saw the blue eyes, I'm like, why do I have a feeling? And then he goes, I used to say something at this point in time. Oh yeah, let the power protect you. I'm just like. If you didn't get that reference, you're not a Power Ranger fan. Or you're way too young to remember or know who Zordon was. And it was just like, okay, so that's supposed to be Zordon. This is the one hit of Zordon. And at the end, when they're doing the music scene, Billy goes, oh, I'm glad I hear my, mentor's, words. And the other guy goes, that's not mentor's word. I heard that from somebody else, and I told him, blah, blah. And it's like, okay.
They kind of scuffed that, yeah.
It's like okay, and this is what I hate about this is the one that I hate about the end. It's what they did with Billy. Billy's like, oh, Zordon still might be out there in a spirit form, and the Red Ranger's like, oh, if there's ghost hunting, I want to go. I'm gonna drop everything. I'm gonna go ghost hunting with you. So that's her skit in, the series before this. That she was a ghost hunter before being a Power Ranger. It's just like. So you just opened up a soft ending. You have a soft ending because now you have an ending where if Billy and the Red Angel wants to go off and ghost hunt for Zordon, you can do that. You can make another series if something happens or you can't do this reboot. You have another series opening up. It's not an ending. It was truly not an ending. It was a soft ending.
I thought that was fine, but you already did it in Once and Always. So why are you doing it again? You're repeating yourself. This is the point.
Like I said, soft ending.
Yeah. at the end of Once and Always, he's sitting with Zach and the Ming. Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going off to space to look for Zordon." And now at the end of this one, they're at a rock concert, and then maybe Zordon's still out there. I'm gonna go out and find him. Yeah. It's the exact same thing.
I
watching the same thing. Like, what? Come on, dude. Like,
I will say
this. Finale. You know what I mean?
Right. So I have heard this.
Sorry, I liked it, but it is.
Yeah. So I've heard this comment online, and it would make no sense, but somewhat sense. That Once and Always would have always been after this season. It was supposed to be after this season. Oh, that would have been fine.
I've heard it both ways. That is before, and then it's also after.
But that'd be fine. But then when you do the Zord scene, when they go into the Megazord and you see Min, that would have been Trini. But as far as I know, they couldn't pilot just two people in the original Megazord. So that would make no sense.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it's like, okay, so what's going on here? You know, they could have had so much of a better ending overall.
Yeah, this like one of the things that I kind of mentioned in another thing is, I know you couldn't get the original 6 Mighty Morphin back because Trini's gone and Jason David is gone as well. But that being aside, let's be practical for a second here. Being gone doesn't really mean gone. 3 years ago, I saw the Ghostbusters movie, and the guy that died was in the movie for 40 minutes.
Egon. Yes.
So what? Gone doesn't really mean gone. I know they're not going to spend Ghostbuster money on Power Rangers, fine. But there has to be a couple scenes that Tommy did that you could splice in there. You have modern footage of Tommy, so you could say, "Oh, here's Tommy." You have some background actor run in. It's Morphin Time, bye, and then you cut to the Tommy morphing, and Dimensions in Danger. That was pretty recent. I mean, it's
they could have even just taken the footage of the morph from
bro, you could have
Dino Thunder.
Yeah,
they could have done the Dino Thunder morph even as him as a Black Ranger, Dino Black Ranger or something.
Well, I think
it doesn't have to be the Green Ranger,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Because they just released the Master Morpher. They could have been like, oh, he's in the Dino Thunder instead, you know. They could have done that. Now, the person that played Jason, Austin, I forget what his full name is, Austin Scott?
Austin St. John.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I know he couldn't go to New Zealand because of legal troubles, as far as I know. So that one could have been a hard one, but they could have done something. They could have done something like this over the cam, you know. Then he's just talking to the Rangers or something, you know. Who knows? I mean,
there's another way you could have brought back Tommy. Forget the Dino Thunder for a second, and forget even Dimensions in Danger. 2.5 years ago, he was back. He did that commercial for the video game where he was playing Lord Draken. So you have Tommy in the Lord Draken costume, unhelmeted. So you could have used that footage. Yeah. Bro, you own that. If you look at that little commercial, that little mini short, whatever, it's in canon because he's looking at all of the Rangers from the other teams. So, they could have been more. They could have been more. So if you really wanted to, and you just had a body double, you could have had Lord Draken be the bad guy here. And just at the end, Tommy removes his helmet. Oh man, it's Tommy, and Tommy's back. Like I'm saying, this is stuff that's already filmed. This is stuff that's already filmed. You don't have to create anything. You don't have to, make assets. All you need is a decent version of Final Cut Pro, and you could have done this, bro. I mean,
they could have just took that whole scene and make it for Lord Zed, watching the whole thing go down. Look at all the Rangers dying or being captured, blah, blah, or something. You're absolutely right. They could have done something with that even, That's
the most recent footage, right? That's the most recent footage of Tommy.
Jason David.
Yeah, in costume as Lord Draken. Make Lord Draken the freaking bad guy. Go ahead. I mean,
they could have, and people would have loved it. People would have loved it. They could have had Lord Draken fight, Master Zed even at one point, and just kill him that way and have.
Well, you can have a body double. The big payoff is to see Tommy take off his helmet and look, it's actually Tommy. oh, who's this Lord Draken that's killing all of the Rangers, or who's this Lord Draken that's terrorizing everybody? That name is horrible, by the way. But he takes off the helmet, and then you know what I mean. It's like calling me King Cheeseburger, and I'm the most evilest Ranger. King Cheeseburger is the most evil. Why is he called Lord Draken? Why isn't he called I don't know, a better name? Yeah. He's a Ranger. He's obviously a White Ranger with a shield.
Do you understand what the Lord Draken is, by the way? Just curiosity.
Yeah, I get it. It's the two power coins smashed together in a different timeline, basically.
Basically, yeah. There's a little more to it than that, but yes, basically, the only reason I know is by playing the video game, and the video game kind of follows the Boom comics, I guess. I understand. Yeah, it's kind of deep. It's kind of deep.
It is footage,
Yeah. I will say that Lord Draken story is a little deep, and it would probably take a little more than 10 episodes to understand it.
Yeah, well, remember, we're in this time crunch of 10 episodes or whatever. Yeah. You could have had Austin St. John in there. He came back recently for the Beast Morphers, right?
He did, yes.
You can't tell me that every single scene that they filmed was in the episode. No, bro. No, Austin St. John is in like 4 or 5 scenes there. Whatever they didn't actually put in the episode, use it in this. This is modern timeline stuff. So you have, now you have 3 Rangers. You have 4 Rangers if you want to. Look, you have footage of the Red Ranger, the original Red Ranger, in modern. Yes. Pretty modern, okay? About 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. You have footage of Green Ranger, Tommy, even in Lord Draken, but you have him in modern footage. You have Billy come back. Yeah, you have Billy come back, so that's 3 Rangers. You recently did Once and Always, so you have footage of Zach Black Ranger, so you have 4 of the 6 core Rangers. You could have stuck these things in there. All you really needed was Amy Jo to, give her likeness or film a green screen of her morphing, and there you could have spliced in the 6 Rangers are coming back. Boom.
They could have even they would have to give permission. They would have to get permission from Bat Under the Sun, but they had those little shorts that he did. The ones where he's fighting Scorpion and some of the other people like Street Fighter. They could have just had one of those morphs. Say, hey, can we just borrow this one quick morph scene from Tommy? Here, we'll pay you whatever, Yeah,
I don't know if that one, where that falls as far as like ownership.
But they don't own it at all. They don't own it because that's Bat Under the Sun, but that would have been one of the most unique things to see, him.
That was made for the game of Hasbro, right?
Yeah.
It has to be somewhat partnered, like Super 7 making Power Rangers. You have to be partnered somehow. It's not like this is bootlegs, you know what I mean? This isn't.
Yeah, that's true.
This isn't Ramen Toys or something. No offense to Ramen Toys, but let's be real. What is what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But again, when we're talking about Power Rangers, why couldn't they bring men into one of the fights? Men, Yellow Ranger. We've only seen her for a little bit. Why couldn't she come into one of the fights with the squid, and they're fighting the squid? I mean, they could have brought her in. Billy was brought in.
There's so many ways you could have gone here. You know what? Another good thing they could have done? They could have brought back Ninjor. Ninjor is not a suit actor. You know what I mean?
They were on the planet. They were on the planet with the...
Where they found the Shogun Zords.
Yeah.
They keep going back to that planet. So maybe Ninjor's tribe or something. You could have the red Ninjor variant that everybody wants actually making its debut. Okay, the red Ninjor is on this planet. The blue Ninjor is on Earth or whatever, You could have had something.
They had so much here, man. They had so much opportunity.
But Ninjor is the type of character that even, you don't need a suit actor. Because even when he morphs and he flips his head, it's just a robot head anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and again, they probably still have the costume somewhere. They don't have to even make one. They could have just used the old-fashioned costume. They might have had to recolor it a little bit, but...
Bat in the Sun.
Yeah, that's disappointing. That you said
Bat in the Sun. You made a Ninjor costume. In the short that you're talking about, where the Super Mega Force girl, Gia.
They
could have, hey, bro, let me borrow the costume for a couple of days.
Right? It's just
could have done a lot.
This show, it begins nice and solid. I mean, it's just, they could have done They had so much opportunity overall. I mean, I like the Godzilla scene. The Godzilla scene was pretty cute, where they turned the main dinosaur into Godzilla and started crushing people. Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool.
I thought it was brilliant what they did with the Black Ranger putting the staff into the thing and unlocking the Zords, but it burned off his arm. I thought that was,
you know what?
Now there's stakes. You know what I mean? It could go bad.
Yeah. So I will say, I could feel that a little bit. I could feel that for reality because this arm I broke in half when I was a kid. I literally broke it in half, and the doctor said to my mom. I remember this. My mom told me after the surgery that I still had a 75-25 chance of losing my arm. And I'm a guitar player too, just like the guy in the show. And I'm just thinking to myself, if that happened to me now, that when it happened to me as a kid, it was a little different because all I wanted to be was a BMX biker, do BMX. So that's how I broke my arm. If that happened to me now, I'd be devastated just like him. So I could feel that a little bit, kind of that connection there.
Yeah.
And of course, the technology he got was kind of cool, really. Even though he had to fight it for a while, had to fight, get used to it.
Yeah, that's story progression. That's character development. That's all good. That's all good stuff there. I mean, let me ask you, what did you think of bringing in Heckle?
Heckle. Well, I think that he was in the last series too for a little bit, but him getting his
he is waiting. No, he is like 8 years back.
Was it 8 years back?
He was 2017.
Heckle. I'm thinking of the other guy.
Yeah.
So,
Heckle. Heckle.
Yeah, the evil ranger that became a good ranger. Okay, yeah, Heckle.
The Dark Ranger, the one that's
red
arms.
The spy in this one. The spy. Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool. I wasn't expecting to see a spy in this case, but again, very disappointing. He morphs. He gets his ass kicked. And it's like, really.
Yeah, they did this. They didn't give him his morphin sequence, and I hate when they do that. They just do the flash. He's just in costume. They didn't have to do the actual morph. They didn't
I don't remember that morph.
People wanted to see this costume. People wanted to see this actor come back. So you did it. So why do you cop out and not giving him a morphin sequence like they did? They did to Jason, the Red Ranger and Beast Morphers. He didn't get a proper morph. He just got red. Why didn't we get footage of the Red Ranger from the original show and Beast Morphers doing this? You know what I mean? And morphing. See you morph. Don't just give me the flash, bro. You're playing to the older fans, so play to them. Right? It's like an old singer wanting to sing new songs when you want to hear the old ones. No, bro.
Exactly.
You want to hear the hits, bro. You want to hear the hits.
Yeah, you go to a concert, of anybody that's like from the 80s, and maybe they're still making music. Let's just say they're making music. There's going to be those certain songs that people are going to listen to that still want to hear those songs. So they're going to play the new and the old. They're going to mix it together. Because they're not just going to play the ones that are on the newer album. This is not going to happen. Nobody's going to go see a concert just for the newer stuff. But yeah, the morphine sequence, the morphine time thing is just, some of those were just real fast. Like, one thing I didn't like was like,
we need to get one either.
No. The other thing I didn't like is they can call the Zord. They can call the Zords without being morphed. I'm like, they're calling the Zords without being morphed. And then also they're in the Zords being all in, Power Ranger costumes. I'm like,
the Orange Ranger's not even morphed in the Zord. Yeah.
Zados.
She's just hanging out with her girlfriend, isn't he?
Yeah. Zados. What do you think of Zados' lifespan?
I think it was good, but this goes into from what I started, the 5 episodes thing. The first 5 episodes are fine. The second 5 episodes drag because he's dying for 5 episodes, and that doesn't seem like a lot. But considering this is a 10 episode, series, he's basically dying through most of the series. He's dying for the extent of the series. He's dying for 10 episodes out of a 10 episode series. You can't die for the entire duration of it. It's too much dying. It's too much dying, and it's hitting the same points. Like They did this a lot with the Green Ranger and the Orange Ranger. The Green Ranger is scared that the Orange Ranger is gonna get hurt, right?
Yes.
And then they hold hands, and then they're about to kiss, and somebody walks in. They repeat the scene a bunch of times, like
They do.
variations, but they keep. You don't have to keep hitting over the head. We get it. That's her girlfriend. You don't have to. You know what I mean?
Right?
I'm not taking a stand either way. I'm just talking from a story perspective. Like this is just repetitive scenes, and this is coming from a Power Ranger fan. You know what I mean?
No, there's a lot of repetitive scenes, but when Zados, I understand the concept. He uses the magic to help them out, kinda. Sometimes I don't understand the point of why he was using it for all the time. Like, let's take the Zords and let's put them back. Okay, well, why can't they just disappear and reappear later? Because they're Zords, they're not people think they're going to sit on the ground. I never remember a Zord just say, I don't remember anybody going, you have to go return yourself. It's just like, we're done with the battle, they disappear.
Yeah.
But Zato's idea of dying in the show, I understood it. I understand. Because he came back because of the Morphin Masters before this show started. But the one thing I did not like was at the end when the Morphin Masters go, I don't know how you got to become a master, but we got a lot to learn from you as you got a lot to learn from us. You brought the guy back from the dead. How do you not know how he became a Morphin Master?
Because there's plot holes there. Because okay, the character is brought back with the white suit and the red accents, right?
Yes.
At the end of last season, and then they bring him back here, and all of a sudden he gets a connection to the Morphin Grid to get the champagne costume. He's not supposed to have the champagne costume because Billy didn't program that into him. You could theoretically put it there, but Billy made 6 morphers. You want to start picking at it. Why is Charlie being able to morph? She's not supposed to. It wasn't the powers weren't created for her. You could touch Zion all you want. The morpher's not going to work, bro. It doesn't. If you made 7 morphers, fine. No problem. No nothing. But you made 6 morphers for 6 specific people. 2 of them are gone for different reasons. And then somebody else that's the girlfriend of one of the leads is going to all of a sudden, bam, I'm a morpher too? No. It takes away the specialness of the morphin thing itself. Because if you're the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger, fine. I'm the Zeo Red Ranger. We can't be switching powers. Like, then it takes away what me being Zeo and you being Mighty Morphin, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Jimmy comes in and he took my Zeo crystal and Jimmy can be the Zeo Ranger now. No. If the power is meant for this character, it should have stayed with that character. And that was a big one.
Well, actually, I'm going to go a little geeky out here. I guess it'd be kind of the same idea as when they do transfer of power in the original MMRP, where you got, Kimberly giving it to Kat or Catherine, whatever you want to say her name. I guess it'd be kind of the same idea, but not. You're not got you don't got a Zordon going, we're giving you the power of the Pink Ranger. You just all of a sudden you got the morph on your hand to transport to get the dinosaur, and
hell, at least that was a transfer. With the Orange Ranger, there was no transfer because there was no Orange Ranger to pass on the powers. These orange powers just came out of nowhere.
Well, that's kind of the idea. That was kind of the idea of it originally. I think when I watched it twice, this episode twice, because I was kind of curious. I was like, I'm thinking the same thing as you, and I'm like, the morpher literally glitches. If you watch it carefully, the morpher glitches, and that's what makes her morph. It's not that she wanted to morph; she was just using the morpher to transport herself to Scion, and that's it. That's all she wanted. And then the morpher glitched after the creature spits on it, and they hit each other. So her becoming an Orange Ranger was actually an accident. It wasn't actually supposed to happen if you watch it. And I think it's kind of funny because, again, you're right, but it's like, okay, so now morphers can glitch. It was just a way to get her to become a Power Ranger, basically. Okay. And I think that was for the fans, because I know the fans really wanted an Orange Ranger for the longest time, and they never really got it. They got it in a dream sequence in one episode, and then I think it was also in the Boom Comics for a while. But yeah, so I think why wait so long to make an Orange Ranger? That's not going to be there anymore. You know.
I don't know. Okay. Now this I'm about to say as a series writer. Okay, I created Mascot Fighters, right?
Right.
These 5 characters get these powers. If other people can get these powers, then the 5 characters that get the powers are not special anymore. Period. This isn't weapons like or a special costume like Batman. Anybody can technically be Batman because you're not fused to any powers in Batman. You know what I mean? Batman is just a guy wearing a bat costume with a really cool belt and a nice
Hey,
car, and you know
you
what I
gotta
mean?
know martial arts at least. You have to know martial
Yeah,
arts.
but I'm saying,
Yeah.
optically speaking, there's no power connection with Batman and the Bat powers. There is no such thing. You know what I mean?
You're right. There isn't.
In most timelines, because I'm sure there's got to be a comic book that somebody, oh no, this is the Batman powers or something. But for most general knowledge, Batman doesn't have it. So
No.
it takes away the specialness of it.
Well,
But
let's go off gears then. Let's go a little off gears then, because I'm kind of curious on your outtake of when they do transfers from in Turbo with the Red Ranger from Tommy to I lost his name. I don't remember his name now. The
TJ.
black guy.
TJ.
Yeah, TJ. Again, when they do it in all the other series, I don't find it, like you said, it's not special. It's like a power that's just out there. To me, when you really bring it up like that, I really think about it. Yeah, they're not a special power. Anybody can have it. Anybody that wants it could literally use it if they really believe in it.
I think they did as far as that. I think they did all right. I honestly, with all of the circumstances, I would have done the same thing. The only thing I would have changed was behind the scenes. I would have told the characters. I would have told the actors, because that was always the big thing. The Turbo cast got fired, and then they brought in new people because they said the old Turbo was old and getting boring, so we got to refresh it.
Yeah.
And all of the original Turbo Rangers have all said this, that they didn't know they were being fired until they opened the newspaper and said, "Oh look, we're hiring a new Red Ranger." Like, what?
Yeah,
I would have told them. I would have told them that. As far as
that's a Saban thing, I think.
Yeah, like that was real dirty, bro. Like, I'm filming episode 7, and I'm gonna die or I'm gonna lose powers, or
Yeah.
you don't know what these people are living. You don't know if Jason David Frank signed the lease for a new car because he thought he was gonna get the show from, and all of a sudden he finds out he's fired, or Johnny Bosch or Nakia, any of these people that were the original Rangers, and then they did that. I think that was dirty. As far as in-show canon stuff, when these characters come in and they help out the old team, so the old team wants to move on with their lives, the new team's gonna come in, and they were the chosen ones by the old team. I think that's fine. That's fine. Also, by the time we got to Turbo, so little people were watching.
I was actually watching Turbo.
You could play fast and loose with Turbo. You weren't. The fan base had already dwindled. Honestly, I'm a lifer for Power Rangers, just like I'm a lifer for Ninja Turtles. But real is real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, here's the reality with my Power Ranger fandom. After they went off to space, I kind of stopped watching after like the first week of Power Rangers, and then I watched the episode with the Ninja Turtles because they were Ninja Turtles, and it just didn't do anything for me. It was like, okay, they did something totally different, and it was like, okay, cool. They're just trying to get people to watch it again.
Yeah.
I think it was just because of my age. Really. I think I kind of grew up a little bit after I saw Turbo and what they did with it. I was like, And there's a few series that I want to go back and watch because I know they're more adult-like, and yeah.
Yeah, like I said, as far as like just that point you were saying about the power transfer, I think they did it just fine. I just would have told the actors backstage that there's at least have that common courtesy. You know what I mean? It was like you could have, hey, bro, you know what? We're moving in a different direction. All right, we're moving in a different direction. I've done a lot of like production work for like independent but wrestling companies and things like that. Like I've done photography for them and other things. Like, okay, we're pushing this guy, and no, you know what? We're gonna go in a different direction. Okay, you're going in a different direction, but at least you talk to the people and you tell them, hey, look, we're gonna move in a different direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it just shows respect. You know what I mean? Not everything is gonna last forever, which is just part of life. Hypothetically,
life, yeah.
Yeah, hypothetically speaking, right now, I'm the creator of Muscular Fighters. I get signed by Playmates, right? Hypothetically,
Right.
I get signed by Playmates. Playmates, they do 3 runs of Muscular Fighters toys. And then after that, they were like, you know what? This isn't selling. We're going to make another reboot of Ben 10. You're fired. Okay, I guess I'm fired. I got at least 3 runs out of it. And you're just moving in a different direction. If the market didn't go for me, then maybe they'll go for Ben 10, reboot number 20 or the next reboot. You know what I mean? It's just a shift in the market. I just think.
Yes, it is. I mean, I totally understand that point. Yeah. So,
you could talk to him,
And actually, that'd be really cool if you got signed by Hasbro, Mattel, Playmates, whatever. That'd be really cool.
Man, I'd love it, but at the same time, like I don't want to put myself over or anything like that. But you've seen some of my stuff. I'm actually making my own action figures. I'm making the box art. I'm doing the figures. I'm doing in factory. They're articulated, and I'm doing everything I want. And I wasn't gonna wait for any company to make my toys. I'm making my damn self. I'm Luis Felipe. I know that sounds really, really, really jaded or like hubris of me, but sometimes as a creator, you see things differently. So, but yeah, getting back to Power Rangers.
Okay, so getting back to Power Rangers, this was my. What did you think of what they did with Lord Zed at the end, trapping him on that planet? I have my idea of how ridiculous that is, but trapping him on the planet to face his fears of being evil, or however they've said it, basically.
Yeah, like his biggest nightmare is to be trapped in a time loop with Rita, while she's sunbathing.
And bossing them around. I mean,
that's the big finale to Lord Zed. I was like, all right.
But in his mind, he killed all the Power Rangers.
I don't know that. I didn't get any.
You didn't catch that? Yeah. When they first show him shrinking down, you see all the Power Rangers laying on the ground. And he's shrinking down thinking he killed all the Power Rangers. So in his mind, he killed them all. Even though it's a nightmare planet, is what they call it. So yeah, living out with Rita, his wife, that's not alive. And how does he not figure that one out?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like a time loop, isn't it? Like he's got to keep reliving the same boring, time loop with Rita.
Something like that, yeah. Until he figures out that he can't be evil anymore, and then he can escape the planet.
Yeah, but I think he's just stuck in there.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Why didn't Lord Zed get his skin back?
That's a good question.
I've seen him in the finale, right? If you get your powers back, you figure at least you get your epidermis back, bro.
Right. Well, I
want, he's nothing but bones and metal.
I kind of want to know how he lost it again, because when Zordon was destroyed, he became human. When from the time he became human to the time he became the Lord Zed again? When did that happen?
Well, from what I remember, because I've actually seen this recently, and if I'm wrong, somebody can, put your comment there and say what's up. But he was a bad guy, and he touched the Zeo crystal, but since he's evil, the Zeo crystal burned off his skin. That's basically it. And that's why he wouldn't go into the cave to try to find the Zeo crystal, and he sent the Goldar. Yeah. And remember, there was this big energy around the Zeo crystal, and anybody evil can't touch it.
Yeah. Because they made a big deal about that.
Tommy eventually got it because he's Tommy.
Because he's the White Ranger, not the Green Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the show. I mean, come on, it is the Tommy show. Let's not lie about that either.
No, Power Rangers is the Tommy show. Anytime you wanted to come on, anytime they wanted him on, for the longest time, he would have said okay. And oh my God, everybody, any fan of Jason David Franks would be like, oh, I'm watching that episode. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
it saved them because when he came back for Dino Thunder, the series was gonna be canceled, and then we got ratings again. So Disney decided to keep playing ball for a little bit longer. So
well, yeah, because actually Disney wanted to end the show. Honestly, they wanted to end the show with that series, and that was it.
yeah,
Um,
they've been wanting to end it for a while. I don't know why sometimes these companies they buy a brand just to like cancel it. Don't you want the money, bro? Like
you would think, but yeah,
something you've seen so successful, you know what I mean? Something because Power Rangers is so successful for being so tight budgeted. It's still massively successful.
and it still is today. I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
you know why people like downgrade to Power Rangers? Like, oh no, I like Grey Poupon or something. Like, come on, bro, it's
Oh,
Power
come
Rangers.
on, yeah.
It's giant robots and monsters. What's the problem here? This is pretty cool. It's like Ninja Turtles. Like it's giant mutated turtles. You know, fighting a dude with a bunch of spikes on it. You know, like, what's the problem? This is fun stuff. But you know,
Okay, so
oh
I have a funny story. We're gonna finish the cosmic theory thing here, and I got a funny story about Ninja Turtles. This happened about 2 weeks ago. I went to Walmart, and I'm wearing my Ninja Turtle shirt. It's the one that just came out not too long ago. And this guy stops me and go, what does TMNT stand for? And at first I thought maybe he was messing with me. You know, like I look kind of young compared to what my age really is. And I told him, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He looks at me and goes, what's that? Literally like that. What's that? I'm like, you know, and I showed him the characters. I mean, I had the 80s characters on my shirt. I go, you never seen these? He goes, no. It shocked the heck out of me because I was like, how old are you? I actually asked him. He goes, I'm 38. I'm like, you're 38. You don't know who the Ninja Turtles are? He goes, no. And he walked away. I think that's the first person I have actually met in my life that did not know who the Ninja Turtles are. Most people know who they are. They just don't know the show. You know, I've had people go, oh, Ninja Turtles. I never watched that. I was like, okay. But you know who they are, you know? I mean, that's kind of weird to me. You
yeah.
know, I mean, it's like 1 in a million. You know, someone at that age, 38, have no
Well,
idea who
sometimes
Ninja Turtles is.
I don't know. Well, people have different upbringings and stuff, but somebody in modern culture in a in a suburban city, how can they not have seen a poster of one of these things?
Right? That's what I'm saying, you know, or a commercial on their YouTube watch or on their TV or, you know, going to a theater to watch another movie or something. You
Yeah,
know? It
I
made
think
no
it's
sense to my head.
I think it's the I don't want to admit this. I like this type of thing. You're like, oh, I'm a fan of Alf. I don't want to tell anybody I'm a fan of
I
Alf.
forgot about that show. Yeah.
Or I'm a fan of Mama's Family. I don't. You don't want to hear
Yeah.
about
Golden
a whole
Girls
lot
or something. Yeah.
of people being
Yeah.
ashamed of their fandom, if you will. Uh,
Yeah. But anyways, let's get back to the Cosmic Fair. Overall, what did you, from the start to the finish, was there anything big that stuck out to you personally that you would have liked to see in this show?
well, for me, there's two things I would have just sprinkled in, and there would have been two scenes that would have made people a lot happier than because they like what they like, but me personally, okay, as a writer, as whatever, as a cartoonist, whatever you want to call it. The first thing would have been I would have finally had the Phantom Ranger there, and I would have had the Phantom Ranger unhelmeted. I would have used the VR Trooper guy that did the voice of him for a little bit.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I would have brought the guy in, or I would have figured out, you know what? Let's figure out some way to put Phantom Ranger and because there's so many holes in Power Rangers, you're not gonna plug them all. But at least that's a pretty glaring one. Going back to the Turbo thing, we don't know who the hell the Phantom Ranger is. It's not Billy, and it's not anybody we really know. So it's not Zordon's son either. Let's be honest about that. It's not the spirit of Zordon either.
No, it's
So
not.
that was a pretty big hangnail there, and I think it would have been nice to bring in that. I think that it would have, because you kind of take a dump on the timeline when you look at Super Mega Force, because a lot of these things should not be there. A lot of these powers should not be there. You know what I mean? But we're gonna glance over it with the Morphin Masters in this season, and there was the master plan, and fine. But at least give me the Phantom Ranger, bro.
Yeah.
Give me the Phantom Ranger for toy purposes. They just released a Walgreens exclusive, the translucent one for the Lightning Collection. Yeah, for the Lightning Collection. There you go. You know you're gonna get another use out of this because the comic books have used the costume. So why can't you bring the guy back one more time and you have him unmasked or something? And I think it would have been nice if they would have brought Patricia Jolie back, the in space Pink Ranger.
Oh yeah. Well, I had something similar to that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been nice if they were together and they're like training a ranger or something. It could be its own spinoff, but I think since it was heavily implied that they were going to get together anyways, finish the story. Like, I'm not trying to be Cody Rhodes or nothing, but finish what you start. You know what I mean? It's like that. And I think the other thing I would have, just to like sprinkle it in because I think it would have been cute and everybody would have loved it, was you have Kelson Henderson as the Orange Ranger talking to the girl that's the Orange Ranger and says, "Hey, I did it first."
Right? Yeah.
There's the big hubbub, right? Everybody's freaking out about, oh my God, the SPD timeline's coming up. The SPD. Okay, so you have the actor already working there. That's the thing. These are assets that you could already have there. You know, I think bringing in Heckle was just like, I get it because the fans wanted it, and he did make the producers did make the fans happy, and I'm happy to see the guy, and I give him credit. All of the Dino Charge cast, because they've come back sparing. They were back in Beast Morphers, remember, for the crossover there.
Yeah.
Some of them, they don't really age. They I've seen a picture of side by side, and they hold up pretty well, these actors. So God bless them, you know. So that's what I would have done. I would have done a scene with Boom from SPD and the new Orange Ranger saying I did it first, and I was the original Orange Ranger. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Except for that, I think it was a fun ride, though.
Yeah, very fun. See, for me personally, they were out in space so much. They could have had a lot of more of the Space Rangers in there. You know, I mean, if you remember like the original Space show, they were on like a surfboard thing that was surfing in space. Yeah. They could have one of them fly by the Megazords or something.
Yeah, an in-costume thing, yeah.
In-costume thing. You know, they didn't even have to have the lines. They didn't even have to have the original cast or anything. They could just have them flying past saying, hey, look, another set of Rangers. I was hoping for something like that. You know, just a little cameo. Or even a cameo where, like, again, here we go. Take off the helmet of the Red Ranger, and there he is, and put it back on real fast, you know, or whatever. I mean, because as much as they were in space, it was like, where's the space people? Where's our Space Rangers at? You know.
Here's a question for you. Now that we're talking about it, why didn't the spaceship become a Megazord? The whole
base.
They're talking about a cockpit. They're talking about like you. This seems like what they did in Megaforce with Gosei, and you know, with that storyline, like, oh, part of Gosei is in this rock, and this rock turns into the Gosei Grand Megazord, the Gray Megazord. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, so I think because I remember the scene where they show all the blueprints, and the base wasn't just the base, but it was supposed to be a spaceship. I think if they had more time.
I forgot I made a spaceship.
Yeah.
Really?
They had more time.
I forgot I made a spaceship.
Yeah. So I think if they had more time, they could have took another blueprint, but like, oh, we can make a Megazord out of this, but they don't have another 10 episodes to make a cool space-based Megazord. But again, they could have had a chance where they all like, oh, what was that button about? Click. You know, Voltron type style or something, you know, something weird.
I think it was smart what they did too with the Zords when they unlocked all 10 of them. Hey, look, we don't have to. Anybody can pilot these. You should be a ranger to pilot them. You're not just, you know, the girlfriend of the ranger to pilot it. But okay, fine. But you unlock the 10 Zords, so you don't have to keep, you know, the Blue Rangers got to go with the Blue Zord and the green. You know, they just unlock the 10 Zords, period. And
No,
then they
that
unlock the
was
Dragon
good.
Zord at the end. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Dragon Zord because that was kind of a confusing moment, I guess, probably to some of the bigger fans. Maybe, I don't know. I felt the way of
They
what does this
forced it
Dragon
in.
Zord looks like? What does
They
this Dragon
forced
Zord look like? You know? And my first thought was, are they really bringing back the Dragon Zord? You know, just for like again, a JDF moment. No, they brought back a somewhat Super Terra Dragon Zord. The Lord Zed Super Terra Dragon Zord, pretty
You could
much.
have
It's
done that.
not,
You
but
could
it
have done
looked
it. No,
close
but
to it.
you make a good point. You could have done that as a storyline. Zed takes over the the cosmic Zords and he steals their powers and he creates a Serpentera, a new Serpentera,
Yeah.
and he makes it the purple one. And it could technically be a successor to Serpentera, the purple Zord. But since it's connected to the morphing grid, it goes to good, and he can't control it because he's bad.
Exactly. But yeah, when I heard Dragon Zord, I was like, are they making this guy back here? Are they making this guy appear for just maybe an episode? No, they made it like a Super Terra actual dragon. I'm like, oh, that's still neat. Not what I was expecting. You know?
Yeah.
Because it was buried for, I don't know what they said, hundreds of years or something like that. Who knows how long the timeline's been
Yeah,
since.
they threw a line in there. I forgot what it was, and somebody could tell us in the comments. But they at the beginning they unlocked the 10 Zords, right? And then
Yeah.
when they find out about this 11th Zord, they're like, "Oh yeah, I think I did see an 11th sign. I think there was an 11th." No, bro, you're already zigzagging too hard here. We're already
Yeah.
to believe that these are kind of connected to the Shogun Zords anyways, because these are from the Shogun Zord planet. These are Shogun Zord-ish, way, but they're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the one last thing I want to ask is costume. What did you get? What did you think of the costume? The Cosmic Fairy costume.
I think there were really good ideas, but the pants were too plain. I think the chest is fine, the cuffs are fine, the vest is fine, the emblem is fine. Changing the morpher a little bit into sort of a Tyrannosaurus-y morpher, the Qtama thing, the little circle balls. I think everything was fine. I think the letdown is the pants. Like if you look at it from waist up, it's fine, but you look at it waist down, it's like, why didn't you finish working on the costume? You know what I mean? Like,
I know a lot of people have problems with this costume.
and the side, I have a problem with because they have this diamond cut on one side that's gray with a bunch of lines, right? And then they have on the other side the same diamond cut, but it's a lighter shade of the color of the costume, and you can barely tell what it is. So even in the drawing renders, they couldn't draw it right, I guess, because they didn't know if this is supposed to be gold and this is supposed to be gray, fine. But then another ranger means another set of colors, or does everybody wear the same gray? To just you know what I mean? The accent that they had on the other side wasn't pronounced enough, and their chest part, the top.
You're talking about the little
They use sort of a foamy looking thing for some shots, but some shots they look very latexy. So I don't know. Maybe it was just two different sets of costumes that they were like switching in and out.
It's a possibility because I know most of the TV shows that were, they had the main actors in the costume without the helmet on, and then they had the stunt actors with a different costume, more easier to move. Especially like in the movie that everybody loves to death, but Hasbro doesn't own. And two actors, two different suits actually. They look identical, but where the pieces connect in the arms and stuff were actually made differently. No one saw it on film because it was a high budget, but just stuff from me being a geek and looking into stuff like that. Anyways, overall, I thought the costumes were nice. I thought they did a good job. I know they're very basic, and that was something that most people complained about. But in my own opinion,
I like the weapons, though, by the way. What did you think of the weapons? The weapons that they designed,
awesome.
the new weapons for all of them were great weapons.
Yeah.
I liked all 7 sets of weapons.
Yeah. But the costumes themselves, I thought Yeah, it was basic, but they don't need anything too high tech for this show. They don't need anything that has special armor growing on other pieces of them or anything. It was a power that Billy made, not the Morphin Masters, not anything. That's what made it okay to me, was that it was a Billy creation. It wasn't a Morphin Master creation. Morphin Master could have made an awesome costume, but it's a Billy. Real quick, let's fix this happen. Let's get you back your powers somehow.
Yeah, they kind of zigzag a little bit there because if Billy can make 6 morphers, why can't he make himself one?
Well, he did actually. Do you remember
No,
once in
he can't.
Oldies?
For him
No,
to
he
be
didn't make
part
the
of the
Morphin.
Cosmic Fury team, that's my
Oh, the
thing.
Cosmic Fury team you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know.
Why wouldn't he be Cosmic Fury 7 or Cosmic Fury 8 Ranger,
Because
You
he already
already
has.
have 2 Rangers.
Yeah, he already had his powers. That's why he didn't care. But I know what you're saying.
At least to fit in with the motif, bro.
But again, that's something they're trying to make people have their fans that keep him as Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
They
that's another thing. I was going to ask you. What did you think of Billy not getting an upgraded suit? Fine, keep the Mighty Morphin, but just make an updated suit. Give him an armor or something.
I think it
He's
would
the
have been
star
kind
of the series, so
I think it would have been kind of cool if he had. See, this would have been the perfect time to make one of those movie costumes again with the armor looking type costume instead of this spandex costume. I think that would have been perfect timing for it. And that would have gave Hasbro the rights to release a semi-movie action figure of Billy. Somewhat, because they had a more armor look instead of a spandex look. And that would have pleased so many people. But again, toy line. Let's do the toy line. They don't have a toy line for this Cosmic Fury action figures yet, and they're going on hiatus. So,
yeah,
what
well,
happened to the toy line?
that's a good transition actually. Um, to because we're kind of wrapping up the show.
Yeah,
A little bit of news. So from what I get, what I've been reading and checking around, the toy line that was going to be Cosmic Fury was canceled.
okay.
It was supposed to be 6, and then it was going to move into 7, and they were going to do a full run. But this was around the time where you said that it was going to be 20 episodes.
Yes.
And then I'm figuring Hasbro was like, you know what? For 10 episodes, let's not even bother. The show's on life support anyways. It's on its last leg. Sadly, because I love the show and I know a lot of people love the show, but
I'm one of them.
if it's time to end it, what are we going to do? You know what I mean?
But this would be the perfect. This would be the perfect time for Hasbro to have the one last budget boom, because even though I find the ending suck, I would love to have that set of toys because it's the last set of toys of the original MMRP 30-year run. It's the last 30-year run of the characters, and I think they did an excellent job on the show. It would be a good reason to collect them, in my opinion.
Well, I think here's okay. Since we're off the show and now we're just talking new stuff, I think one of the big mistakes that Hasbro's doing is not filling in the void of Power Rangers, and by that I mean you've done a lot of different projects for Power Rangers. Hasbro's done a lot of different projects for Power Rangers, right? They tried the Fisher line, the one with the chunky ones, the look with no neck and really stiff. They tried those. They tried these the retro VHS Megazords. They tried the Lightning Collection. They tried the General line, which was Beast Morphers and Dino Fury. They've tried a lot of different projects, right? But let's be real. The Lightning Collection, the wheels are falling off, right? Big time. Quality control, it's fallen on its face hard. So I wouldn't stop doing Power Rangers just because the show is you bought into the franchise. You haven't bought into just the show. You got both. So I would have kept working on these. I would have, you know what? This year we're gonna release the Red Dragon Thunders, or this year we're gonna release the Dragon Zord on this scale. You know, this is
Yeah.
or the White Tiger with whatever Zords. You know, I would have kept going with these. You can't
Exactly.
just stop it. That hard stop. That's what bothers me.
Well, here's a good
nothing
one.
of nothing. You know?
How about if they update this? Because people love morphers. How about they update the morpher, the Zeo morpher? I mean, come on. This is the original morpher that I had since I was a kid, but seriously, they could re-release this. People would buy this in a heartbeat. Tell me I'm wrong. Release this one.
No, you're right. The thing is, I think the role play thing though, it's a different market, so it's not as big as the Lightning Collection.
But
most people are going to pick up a Lightning Collection figure, but not everybody's going to need a morph. It's got Lightning Collection's got a lot more mass appeal, just like the Zords. If you're into it, you know what I mean. I think that's a good thing to stop too. If you're gonna stop the show, fine, stop the show.
Yeah.
You want to do a reboot, do your reboot, but you have to at least feed the brand. You do have to feed the brand. This is yours now. You know what I mean. Just as a brand owner, you shouldn't do a complete. You know what I mean. Full stop. Full stop. No, bro. You should focus on other areas. The re-release, the VHS ones, right? They released the Mighty Morphin team. Okay, so next year, why don't you release the Zeo team in that scale, in that size, in that shape? Fine. You make the Nutcracker figures, the 8-inch ones. Make the Green Ranger figure. There's a lot. You've already opened up yourself. So what? You've cast a very wide net to fans. So why don't you start bringing them in now? You know what I mean? It's like a fisherman. Like, you've already thrown the net. All you got to do is start pulling them in.
There's a lot of things they can re-release Alpha-5 and Zordon. They could.
Well, I think here's okay. Let's be real about it. The Zap has been a failure. The Lightning Collection has become a failure.
Very much so.
Both of them stopping for a year is good because it just means get somebody at a warehouse to look at these things and fix the quality control. Because if you could fix the quality control, you're going to get, the fan base back.
Yes.
Which is what you want. The wheels fell off. You can blame the pandemic or whatever you want, but the wheels are completely off of this as far as the collector market. But go after a different market then. Go after a different market. You don't have to just get that. Or you know what I mean? Work on video games. Make animated. I make animated shorts. Look, I've done animated shorts for Mascara Fighters, for Diamond series, and Kelly Collider for years, and I do that because I try to cast a wide net. For the simple fact that I am not signed currently to a massive TV deal. I'm not with Netflix, and I'm not with Warner Brothers or any of these people that can pump money into it. But if you can't grow here, you need to grow over there. Then it's just strategically, you know what I mean? Well, you can't just leave everything open like just a hard stop, and we're gonna share a link to the Super 7 stuff.
I was just gonna mention that. I'm really worried about that because it seems like they're pushing Super 7 more than they're pushing their own products now. Now
they don't have any more.
Yeah, but that just shows, because people love the action figures of Hasbro, even though they have a lot of QC problems. They still are aware of it and go, we're still gonna buy another one. We're still gonna buy another. We're gonna deal with that customer service that I have serious problems with. Sorry, different tone as you can tell. I have serious problems with that customer service. But overall, Hasbro makes good products. They should be in competition with Super 7 at this moment in time. Release Bulk and Skull, Lightning Collection Bulk and Skull, cheaper price, and they would win overall because Bulk and Skull, everybody wants it. I've read comments on the Lightning Collection group. I've read comments on the Super 7 group. Oh, Bulk and Skull's coming out. I have to go buy it out of Super 7 now because Hasbro hasn't made it. And it might not look right to the collection I have. Well, of course not, because it's going to be 7 inches, and Hasbro's is 6, I think. And some of those actors are taller than Bulk and Skull. So, I mean, yeah.
Another thing, since we're talking about this, just like toys now, Another thing I would have done with Power Rangers, I would have done a crossover toy line, and give the license to someone else. I would have talked to Playmates and I told them, hey, look, let's make a Power Rangers / Ninja Turtle 5-inch line. You guys produce them. We'll license them to you. You give us, the royalty or difference, and they don't have to do any work. But you at least have new product of Power Rangers, even if it is crossing over with Ninja Turtles, which we would buy, obviously.
Obviously, because Playmates make affordable toys.
Yeah,
and they still look damn good. I mean,
yeah. I mean, come on. I don't want to see Power Rangers and Stranger Things crossover either, but
they did that with Ninja Turtles.
They've done it with Street Fighter. They've done it with a lot. They're about to do it with He-Man. They're about to do Stranger Things and Masters of the Universe crossover.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that one.
Yeah. They just released for 2024. They've already released the images, and they've had solicitations for the orders for stores and everything. That's already coming up. There's some ways you could have done this, bro. Or you know what? You could have made talk to 30. 30's got the license for Power Rangers. Why don't you work with them? If they're gonna make the giant, like Barbie doll looking felt, and I don't mean it, but it is. Come on.
It is. I haven't actually seen one in person, but I've seen them online. I've seen reviews on them. I know they're high quality, very expensive too, and
why don't you open the door to bad guys? Why don't you make a nice Barbie-ish looking Rita Repulsa? Why don't you make a Lord Zed in that size? If you're gonna go there, go there. Don't half-ass it. I hate when people do that.
So that was one of the
go all the way. You know what I mean?
See, that was one of the appeals about Super 7 I liked. Like this Red Ranger came with the Dragon Shield and the Dragon on bands and all that. Where Hasbro, you had to buy multiple just to get that, same thing. When the Black Ranger releases from Super 7, you also have the Dragon Shield and a set of arms that match. And you don't have to buy 2-3 characters for one scene out of a show. And that's the appeal of Super 7 for me. Hasbro, you release this Red Ranger, you release this Red Ranger with the Dragon Shield, you release this and this, and you're going back and forth. You're like, oh, 93 Red Rangers on one stand, because it's just to match all of them. But this you can go, well, this month I'm going to have them this way, this month I'm going to do it this way, or whatever, The Zero people had, I think it's the Zero, the people that had you bought the character and it came with a stand. And when you go to all of them, it had the command center put together, and I thought that was pretty cool. They even had a Zordon that was like this tall, like lit up and everything. It was all expensive. It was like over. I think I priced it at like $1,500 if you get all of them. I mean, it was not cheap.
$200 a piece or something like that.
Yeah, it was not cheap, and I was like, yeah, but it'd be worth it if you want that display. It would be worth it,
I think, and this is the toy designer in me, okay? I think if they did a nice giant size, like 30 size, what is it, 1/12 scale? But they made it a Goldar, and what they did with Goldar was they would do armor pieces, but they do a felt bodysuit and armor pieces, so you could actually get Goldar in all of these poses that everybody's tried to put him in forever. Because the Super 7 one, as much as you could try to move him, he's not going to get all the poses you want. If you want that type of the suit actor type poses, you need character in a suit, in a bodysuit with armor, and Goldar would be a perfect freaking addition to it. And you make him with real wings and stuff like that. Yeah, like you see there, but there's a different style. There's also big hard plastic wings. You're talking 30, you'd have to do like
you have to do all felt, yeah. But even this guy, I mean even for a Super 7 toy, I mean that's impressive. And Gordo, I know Gordo's a lot different because I have him too, but
test the waters. Make Zed and Rita. If Zed and Rita don't sell, then you're not gonna make the entire moon-based villains. But there's no way that Zed and Rita don't sell at that scale.
Zed and Rita sells very easily. especially if you're giving them accessories with it, you know, like the telescope or the chair. Or
They're
something,
they're
you
gonna do
know.
a putty, and that's got to be the most plainest looking thing I've ever seen in my life, bro.
Yeah,
You want to charge $325 for a Barbie, a gray Barbie? Come on, bro.
that's
Sorry,
pretty much what it is. I mean, I saw it, I was
no,
like,
bro.
oh, you got to be kidding me. I mean, yeah, I know
Big
the
no for me.
costumes are just made out of nothing, but it's like,
The putty
no,
really doesn't translate well to that.
no, it doesn't. I was looking at it going, no, no, I would not spend my money on that one.
I would like to see a Quantrons though in that scale, because
Yeah,
Quantron is like armored up. The Quantrons are the in space the putties, you know,
yeah, I remember those.
helmet
Yeah.
and the vest, and they look like they're part of the Kiss Army. You know what I mean?
Sorry, there we
I
go.
like that. Let's see that. There you go.
Or even the robot. What was the robot people call the gear people? You know, the ones from Zeo.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Machine Empire.
the Machine Empire. That one. Yeah, that'd be cool to see. I mean,
Those are
again, those
toyetic
that
as
guys.
hell too. Like you look at those
Yeah,
costumes and you're like,
even those you don't see any of those. All you see is the Zorgs. You don't see any of the
well,
other
that's why
characters.
I'm hopeful that the Lightning Collection in 2025 gets back to doing its stuff, because I want, like most people, we already have the Zeo team. We need the bad guys. We only have the
Yeah.
putties. We have the cogs, but where's Mondo? Where's Machina? Where's Sprocket? Where's the dude with the British thing and the little buddy that he has on his shoulder?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
You know
know.
what I mean? Where's
Yeah.
those? Where's Louis Kaboom? I want a Louis Kaboom figure, bro. That name alone stayed in my brain.
I mean, honestly, I was playing on
Archery.
collecting.
Where's the Zeos?
Well, they have the Gold Ranger.
Hell,
But
they haven't finished the moon base people. They haven't made Hasbro hasn't made a Squat and Babu either.
no, they haven't.
So you don't even have the core of those.
I mean, I did tell you why I started collecting Super 7 over the Lightning collection, didn't I?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Well, I like Hasbro, and I like the figures that they make. I'm more interested in the bad guys because I just like the bad guys a lot. They're interesting costumes, but there's a lot of stuff. For Dino Thunder, Lightning Collections released Mesogog. Okay, give me more bad guys. Give me Zeltrax. Give me what's the girl's name? Elsa. Give me Elsa.
Yeah.
A figure. She looks like a GI Joe, a Baroness. Anyways, there's a lot of shared parts there. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, Hasbro has a lot of options what they can be thinking of releasing, because there's just tons and tons of characters from all sorts of series, you know?
Dude, you know what I'd love for them to do? I'd love for them to make Score Box, the big octopus from Lost Galaxy that never got
yeah.
You have the Lost Galaxy team. Why don't you make the bad guys? It's like right there.
It's like, do they have? I think they have fears of changing, like getting creatures or something, you know, like because those are different molds, 100% different. You know, and I think maybe they don't want to spend that kind of money, and that's something that I disagree with. It's like,
well, it's an octopus on a box.
Yeah, I know, but
it can't be that hard, bro. It doesn't have that much articulation. It doesn't even have any articulation.
Do you have any idea how Pudgy Pig sold, by the way, from Hasbro?
I think it did all right, but
It did all right.
It did better in clearance. I know that because nobody bought that the lunchbox that wasn't a lunchbox thing. That was kind of a face plan.
I know, as a business point of view, maybe when they made something weird shaped like that and didn't sell very well, maybe they're like, oh well, maybe we should stay away from there for a little bit and let's test the waters doing something different.
Yeah.
Because that's a totally different shape than a typical humanized shape, you know.
Yeah, because it's a spherical ball with a snout,
Yeah.
and then you build around it. Okay, here's arms and legs and whatever. I have them here, I think.
Yeah, you showed it to me one time. Yeah, you do have it. Yeah,
it's built
and
around.
I think they make amazing look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a blunt instrument, is what he is. The thing is heavy.
Yeah. Hey, look at my little picture.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Hasbro has a lot that they can do. And unfortunately, they're going on hiatus, and that sucks for collectors
yeah,
because I don't know if they're going to produce anything between hiatus. You still can buy this and that. I doubt it, unless they're just going to clear out the warehouse and have a big warehouse sale again. I think it was like yesterday I found out that the Dragon Zord from the Dragon Zord was finally sold out after all this time. Because I remember going up there and looking at the things, seeing what's new, and Dragon Zord would always be there. You could always buy it, and now it's finally sold out. I'm like, wow, that's been 2 years. you know? But yeah,
yeah.
I hope they come back in full force, and I
Yeah.
don't want to,
I say grow from somewhere else. Don't even, if you don't want to do the Lightning collection for a year, maybe 2 years, give it a break while you fix out all of the bugs. Fine, but grow somewhere else. Go back to the flip heads. Remember we were talking about the flip heads? Make more flip heads.
yeah.
If you're just gonna live on nostalgia for a little bit, that's fine. But the hard stop. That's where I have a problem with it, because not so much as I have to buy every single thing out there, but just in if you don't make more stuff, more people don't know about it. It's just a simple. Look, I love Mascara Fighters. I created Mascara Fighters, but I can't just stop after the good guys. I have to make the bad guys. I have to try to make the playset. I have to try to some way, somehow, make posters and shorts. And like I said, if I can't grow one way, I try to grow another way.
Yeah.
Uh,
And,
yeah, to kind of wind down here, I have a little bit of kind of switching gears before we end the show. Want to talk a little Ninja Turtles.
okay, let's talk about Ninja Turtles.
So Ninja Turtles are featured pretty heavily at New York Toy Fair, specifically Super 7. They're finally getting some test shots, and the figures are coming out. Apparently, everybody's crazy about that. The gorilla that's not Sergeant Bananas,
Yeah.
because of reasons, just because he's big. I mean, I have no attachment to the character. What do you think of that big gorilla? I know you've seen the images already.
I have seen the images. I'm not,
Gorilla thing.
Yeah, I'm not a really big fan of it. I think it looks amazing, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Sculpt's nice.
Yeah. Why couldn't they do the one from the next mutation?
Yeah, give me silver. I'd rather buy silver.
Right? No, again, Super 7 goes off of nostalgia too, honestly, but they do a great job. They do a great job, like the Kurai. That one I'm kind of.
They showed the wingnut too. I don't know if you saw the wingnut. The wingnut
yes.
Those look pretty close to the render, so props to them, to the toy designers, the marketers, the people making this stuff. They are coming along. Like I don't know the ins and outs of why this stuff takes so ridiculously long, but at the same time, now as a factory toy maker, I can tell you, it's one of the most painful things you're ever going to do in your life. When you send out a resin figure to a factory and you tell them, hey, look, make this. Oh my God, bro. So I can imagine, the nightmares that they have to be dealing with. Like, oh, this color's supposed to be green and you made it white, you stupid. You know what I mean?
The April O'Neil all over again.
You know what? Hold on a second. I actually have something. Hold on. Let me.
Okay.
You can talk a little if you want to. Literally just right here. 1 second.
So, anyways, at this time, if there's any questions about Cosmic Theory or any of the Ninja Turtle stuff or Power Ranger stuff that you guys would like to talk about next time, let us know. And we'll always answer your questions. If I see one pop up, if I can't answer it, I'll make sure that Mascara can answer it. And yeah, so just let us know if you have any comments. So what did you find? What are you bringing out?
This is a factory sample. This is a first run of one of the figures.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
Mascara Blue, right?
Yeah.
This is literally off the plate. This figure to actually the final version, right, has to be painted up. It has to be detailed and everything. But so far, this took forever to get in hand. But this
Hey,
is
moves.
yeah, it's 6 points of articulation.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's got waist as well. This is
Very
literally
cool.
factory sample right off the assembly line. Okay, so this is not the final one, but I did want to show it to give credence to Super 7 because, like I said, now when I'm at factory toy maker, I see the nightmares that they face. So maybe they shouldn't face them because they're so big, but that's another conversation for another day. You know what I mean? But like, you understand people's dilemmas now. When you have your own...
I understand, and it's like when you get a product like I had the Super 7 Pink Ranger, and I have to wait about 3 weeks to get a new one. But the arm was on there when I got it, and I moved the arm and it popped off. Factory defect. They make thousands of those, maybe in one shot, one day. You know, depending on how many people ordered it. You're gonna have misprints and malfunctions and stuff. It's not gonna be perfect. The Ninja Turtles, April O'Neil, the new one from Mutant Mayhem in the bus, it was two different colors. People said, oh, well, one's a Chinese version. And no, it was just that the paint probably ran out a little bit and no one noticed it and didn't care. They just shipped it out. Or maybe the paint was just mixed wrong in the, you know, warehouse or wherever they painted them at, you know. No one cared. They're just like, oh, it was the set of the Turtles with the April O'Neil and the, I think it was Bebop. But you know what I mean? I mean, it's no one cared, and now it's a highly collectible. You got the light skin April, it's a highly collectible. But it's the same April O'Neil.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, factories are not perfect. You know, you're gonna have mispainted, you're gonna have stuff messed up. It's gonna take a while, and it's gonna be frustrated for the company when somebody like me that's a collector goes, yeah, I can't keep this. It's broken. Send it back. And then the company's gonna have to hear about it. And the company's not gonna be like, another one. And that's where the QC problems has to come be fixed. And the company, the manufacturing place has to go, well, you guys need to pay more attention. People are sending back over and over again. And I'm sure Hasbro was probably sick of it. That's why Hasbro's most likely going, we need to shut it down for a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's probably why they're hitting down the Lightning collection overall, is because so many people have QC problems. Even today, I just saw someone else do a review on one of the newer day, the ones that just released for the con, the 4 Rangers, the ones from the Boom Comics. Someone already had an issue.
Yeah, I know it's...
Yeah, someone had an issue with that, and somebody had a morpher that was in demo mode, according to Hasbro. He showed the email and said, oh, it's in demo mode, and there's no way to switch it. There's no button or anything to switch it, so they messed up. They gave somebody the demo morpher. It was like, you did what? Yeah, so it's...
That's like when you remember going to Circuit City and they would sell you like the demo boot box.
Yeah.
But that's as is. That's whatever that boom box can do. That's what they're gonna charge you.
Okay. So I had something similar, but as it's a musician thing. I went to Guitar Center, and when it first came out, there was a graphics EQ I wanted. It was from Boss. And they discontinued it in like less than a month. And the Guitar Center I went to had one on their display. And they're like, here's the pliers, here's the wrench, here's this, go take it off. I'll tell our manager the alarm's going to go off. I actually had to take it off to buy it. I got a discount for it, but it was the only one in the store. And again, it was like, I got something used. I don't know how many people put the feet on it, but you know, yeah, you don't do that anymore. Most people don't get the demos. They're like, oh, we can't sell you that. Sorry, we can't sell you
the in-store product.
Yeah, you can't buy that no more. You know, they don't want you to have a reason to have a return and get a full purchase back. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that note, I want to thank you all for watching our episode here. I know this was a little
A little
late.
longer than normal.
Yeah, we're at an hour and 45 almost.
Yeah.
If you want to check out any of my stuff, you can check out at Mascara Fighters on social media. You can check out at Diamond Series, which is my other show, and at Kelly Collider on social media as well. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see that I'm not just blowing hot air. You know, it's, oh, I can do this. I can do it. You can actually see my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go check him out. He has really good stuff. I've actually watched a few things. He even did an interview of Mark Richardson. That was a really good interview too. So,
Thanks.
and ours will be dropping here very soon as well.
Yeah. Anything you want to plug before we go there?
So yeah, if you want to catch me, you can catch me on DTV83 on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or whatever they want to call it now. Now it still has a big K on it instead of saying Twitch. It doesn't have a little bird no more. And if you haven't watched the new Power Ranger Cosmic Fury, go watch it. It's a great show. I loved it. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye.